The Galactic Federation is made up of a large group of extraterrestrials, light beings, several different species, and humans. They who have been working with us for a millennium to make sure we don't destroy ourselves in the planet. So they have been working with us for so long, and really they're coming together at this time for the best interest of this planet, and so we can see and observe, or they see and observe what's taking place as being one of the most significant times in this planet's history of this awakening process. It's really fabulous. I mean, they see the good coming for us.
Hey everyone, before we get into the episode real quick, I would just like to first welcome you to the episode. And second, I would love if you could please drop a like, a share, a follow. These videos, I think, are so important for humanity. And I think spreading this message to as many people as possible and trying to elevate everyone to a higher level of awareness and consciousness will lead to a much more peaceful planet where we can all come together in harmony and unite and bring mankind to a golden age. So, whether you believe what is said or not in this episode, that's up to you. But I would just ask that you keep an open mind and just listen to the story, the experiences, and listen to the change that was brought about because of these experiences and how it seems to bring people from a place of great darkness and troubled times in their life to such a higher level of being and just so much more grateful and being able to have an open heart and experience life more fully. So, if you'd like to help support what I'm doing on this podcast, there's a couple ways you can do so. The free options are please like, share this video wherever you're watching. We are also on all the major podcast platforms. So, you can check me out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music. And yeah, just search Beyond the Lights, Lights Over Loveland, and I'll show up. And it would be really amazing if you could please leave a review or rate this podcast. And also, if you want to leave any comments, I'm pretty active in the comments and I try to respond to everyone I can. And yeah, so that's a couple free ways you can help support. You can also join my free Discord, which is open to anyone who would like to join. We just ask that you have an open mind and you're able to post your experiences. We can talk about the phenomenon, meditation, spiritual awakening, whatever you'd like to talk about, art, photography. It's just a nice place to get a group of like minded people together and have some conversations. And I'm going to be having some Skywatch events coming up in March. So I haven't finalized the date yet, but my Discord is going to be the first place that's notified when we have the date and time for the first event of 2026. So if you want to stay up to date on that kind of information, I highly recommend you join the Discord. And like I said, it's completely free, it costs nothing, and you can talk with fellow experiencers and like minded people. Now, a couple other ways you can help support me. You could join my Patreon, which is $5 a month, and you'll gain access to the episodes early. You also get some behind the scenes of me creating Lights Over Loveland and my Skywatch footage and stuff like that. And another way you can help support is I have my merch store where I have all kinds of designs. This is my Merkaba Traveler hat. I have my triangle formation hoodie. I've had this for well over a year. I wear it all the time. It's very nice. It keeps me warm and I like how it fits and everything. So if you'd like to help support, you can check out all those links down below. But now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Beyond the Lights. On this episode, I'm sitting down with a guest whose journey started early. At just 9 years old, witnessing a metallic craft right outside her bedroom window, that moment set the stage for a lifetime of looking up. Joining me is Sarah, known to many of you as UFO Girly. She wears many hats. She's a medical traveler, a dog mom, and a mother of 2 adult daughters. But beyond the day to day, she is an avid skywatcher and an ET contactee who took a major step in 2023 when she was invited via the Dream State to become an ambassador of the Galactic Federation. I'm very excited for this conversation today. So, Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you so much. Yeah, like Justin said, I am all those things and more, of course. Um,
Yeah.
you know, we're more
And
than all those things, but
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And for anyone who hasn't checked out, I have had a couple of conversations with Sarah before. So I'll link those conversations down below. And yeah, I guess we can just jump into this. Let's get into your
Yeah,
background a little
let's
bit and
jump
how you
right
got into
in.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, so it started, like you said, between the ages of 9 and 10. I grew up in Santa Rosa, California, spent most of my childhood there until we made a move to Illinois. But yes, in California, that's where I had one of my most magical experiences, which left me, my eyes just completely open to the knowing that, extraterrestrials or ETs were real. So what had happened is, I was in my room. It's the only night that, of course, some nights my sister would stay over at other places, but she was staying at a friend's, particularly this night. And I go into my room. There, we have a huge window that looks out, to the city and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, as I turned my head, and all of a sudden I see this metallic shaped, like normal craft, the oval shaped craft, um, just gliding there, like hovering. It was rotating. So it was
Oh, wow.
rotating. And I remember the lights. The lights are what I remember, most, and the silvery metallic part. But the lights reminded me of old Christmas bulbs. So like they were
Oh,
orange, green, and yellow colored. So we had a lot of police helicopters. So I was really in my 9, 10-year-old head. I'm trying to decipher, like, um, or reason with myself. Like, okay, this is not a helicopter. This is not a plane. There's no tail. There's no wings or anything like that. But it was like I knew exactly what it was when I saw it.
hmm. Gotcha.
There was this instant recognition, but my mind was telling me these other things, to kind of rule it out because that's what a human does.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was just really in shock and wonderment at the time, and then n they gave me what I now know was a telepathic message, um, of thought and feeling that went through my whole entire body, and knowing that, we're just here checking up on you. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Gotcha.
Just a peaceful, calm, loving feeling, and, I was just like, wow,
Yeah.
because I'll go into what happened before, or my childhood. What I was feeling before was I was terrified.
Hmm.
Um, I was a very terrified, sensitive child. I knew things about people prior to, them even saying anything. I knew whether they were mad, bad, sad, etc., their emotions. Um, and I just knew things, and also I was, like I said, I was a very terrified child. Um, I was particularly scared of the Greys coming to get me
Gotcha.
at night.
Yeah.
And um, I would never sleep alone. It would always be with my parents or with a sibling. Usually I would start off in my bed and then I'd wake up and instantly go into somebody else's. I was terrified. There was also paranormal activity in the home. Yeah, I had that as well. Um, yeah, I was sensitive to my surroundings, so I always felt a male. And actually, my brother did actually see him physically, or
Wow.
like a green, shadowy figure. Um, yeah, he would just pace the hallways, and that really scared me as a child. Anyway, yeah, moving forward, if you'd like,
Yeah, sure.
um,
Wherever you want to
yeah.
go.
So moving forward, that really opened my eyes, to the fact that there's something here, something's going on, but then life, and it was really downplayed by my parents, and rightfully so. They were just like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
you know.
my parents, it's just a dream, just
Yes,
move on. Yeah,
yes,
gotcha. Yeah.
exactly. So I really just buried that experience and moved on with my life. And so I had nothing happen except for some paranormal things that occurred in between that time and then the time of 2014. So I will fast forward to 2014. I had a major spiritual awakening caused by a traumatic event. I was actually head butted in the forehead or in the third eye, and it broke my nose. So it was
Oh,
like
wow.
right in this area, and it broke the bridge of my nose here. But that caused me to just have this massive awakening. And at the time, I was at the lowest place I could possibly be in my life, an alcoholic, drug addict, addicted to many, many things, toxic and traumatic relationships, you name it.
Yeah.
I was really in a bad way, and I thought I was just fine.
Right. Yeah, when you're in the
I
thick of it,
I thought I
that's
was,
all you know. That's
which is
life. Yeah.
hilarious. Now that I look back, I'm like, oh man, no, that's not the right way to go about things. But I just thought, my consciousness was always like, there's something bigger and better for you. But I dumbed it down and I was like, no way, I'm not worthy. And I think a lot of us repeat that in our heads sometimes. But anyway, I had this massive spiritual awakening and that just changed my absolute world overnight. I mean, it was actually, very gradual, but because I have to give you baby steps, but it completely broke me all the way down. It was like a rebirth. I had died. The old me had died or was starting to die. And then, this new me was emerging. Everything that I knew was just no longer, and yeah, that really changed my life, but it did take me quite a while in my awakening journey to get sober and really listen and trust what my angels were saying and what God was saying. God, our creator, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
use those words interchangeably. Um, yeah, it took me, I resisted for a very long time, but in between that resistance, I was still doing readings. I was still practicing, discovering my angels and working on myself. And then I finally something happened that I don't really discuss a lot, and I finally had to get sober.
Mm,
And that took a lot of praying, and I physically got on my knees a month before, and I asked God, please, I want this. I just didn't know how to do it. I needed help. And one day I woke up and I said, I'm done. I am completely done. Something had happened, and I said, they kept telling me, you know, get sober and your life is going to be amazing. get sober, and you're gonna start seeing the life it through the lens of magical eyes,
Yep.
a magical lens. And they were trying to tell me this, and I just wasn't trusting at all. But anyway, moving on from that, I had this massive awakening, and now I'm just this full blown intuitive. Things are just coming at me. That was very hard. That was very hard. I had to learn a lot of practices, meditation, things of that nature to calm all of that down so I could actually go back to work,
Yeah, I
because
bet.
I
Yeah.
had to quit everything. It was so tough. Anyway, so we'll fast forward to 2020, and we all know what
Okay.
happened, starting 2019 and 2020, the
Yeah.
COVID happened,
It was
and we're all,
craziness.
yes, yes. And that was the time, really, 2020 was the time of this mass. A lot of people say 2012 and everything else, but 2020 was really a huge year
Yeah.
for a jump start in what we're experiencing now. So in 2020, I was just, I was becoming obsessed. Sorry, I like to move forward so fast
No, you're
that I
good.
have to
We'll
back
come
up
back to
and
stuff, and
yeah,
yeah, you
yeah.
go with the story. Yeah.
So yeah, I was
Yeah.
becoming so obsessed with extraterrestrials, abductees, um, just the stories and everything. And I'm like, what is happening? I knew something was taking place because of, everything I had previously been through since 2014. So I knew they were trying to tell me something. I just didn't know what. Things are my childhood memory of this craft became resurfaced again, and I
Gotcha.
was like,
Okay.
okay, I know you're trying to tell me something, and because I get hyper focused on things,
Mm.
and that's for a reason. So anyway, um, I am listening to something spiritual, a spiritual podcast, probably at this time, and I hear a message, and it says, "Keep your eyes on the sky," and I'm like, okay, you know, um, I thought I did anyway, but just not the amount that I do now, of course,
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
at all.
Yep.
Way different.
Yep.
So, yeah. So a few weeks goes by, maybe a week or so goes by. I step out. I have my daughter with me, and my dog. We're taking her, to the bathroom. We're behind the apartments, and we're on this hill. And I look up, and out of my right eye, and because I see movement in the sky, I look up, and there is this huge, what I know now is a Galactic Federation ship. It looked like a skyscraper,
Mm. Gotcha. Okay.
just really effortless. It's cloaked. I could see through the middle, and it's effortlessly just gliding, you
Mm.
know. And I say to my daughter, I said, "Caitlin, do you see that? Oh my God, do you see that?" And she said, "Yes, I see it." And as soon as like we acknowledged that we saw it, it
Yeah.
started dissipating. Um, so I was like, "Whoa." And
Yeah.
she was thinking the same thing. She's like, "Well, what was that?" And we really didn't talk too much about it, actually. She was a little bit scared, um, about it, and, I didn't wanna tell anybody. I was already considered crazy enough by my family because of what happened, my awakening, and, not crazy, but just kinda,
It's hard
"Okay,
when
what's going
everyone
on
doesn't
with you?"
have the
Yeah.
same beliefs as you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here I am,
Yeah.
like, now I'm this full-blown spiritual,
Mm.
person,
Yeah.
and they just don't know what to take of it. Uh, but anyway, that happened, so I kinda stay silent about that experience, and until, um, a few weeks later, same thing, take my dog out, and I look to the left this time because I see movement right outside our apartment door, and, there are these 5 oval crafts. They're not metallic, they are cloaked. So
Oh, wow.
it's like,
Hmm.
when you see the shadowy, like,
Yeah, the shadow
things,
ones
you've
that
seen the
yeah.
shadow ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Um, so they were like that, but brighter, but more filled in. So
Okay.
more shadowy, I guess.
Look
No,
more,
they were
like,
more
dense,
filled
I
in.
guess?
Yes,
Like
yes.
yeah,
There you
okay.
go.
Yeah.
Dense. So yeah, they were all lined up in perfect formation. Each one of them was like perfectly separated from each other. I remember that. And I I see it coming and I see them coming because there's 5 of them. And I yell up to my daughter and I said, "Oh my God, come out here right now." Because I know she's in the living room. She comes out, she has her phone and she's trying to record. Of course, they don't let her record this because it's not the time to film for me yet.
Yeah.
Um, that would come later, obviously. And yeah, she's fumbling with the phone and it won't let her record, and then it does allow her to take a picture, and um what was on the picture was this big orb of light. It's definitely not what we saw at all. So I didn't see
Interesting.
any light whatsoever. It was a shadowy thing, and these were shadowy oval craft, things.
Yeah.
um yeah, and so I was just like, "Oh, something is definitely going on," and I was just very excited about it, and so this plays a very significant role in my journey, this night does. So, or the morning well, the sighting does. So, we go to bed and I wake up because I have readings in the morning. I do readings at a shop. I was at the time I was doing in my home and energy work. I was doing many, many things like that. And I wake up and I instantly knew I received downloads. I didn't even know to really call it a download at the time. I just knew
You just
that with
knew
every
information.
yes,
Yeah.
I knew with every bone in my body, every cell in my body, that they were telling me that they were my family.
Mm,
And it's still so hard to talk about because of the feeling. Um,
gotcha. Yeah.
Very emotional.
Mm.
It confused me. I was very confused. I never heard of that in my life. Never heard of extraterrestrials being your family at all. And I went through a grieving process because this love that they sent me was so strong. I never felt that kind of love, unconditional love in my life ever. So I was still not all the way, we're never fully healed, right? But
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
still struggling mentally. Even though I had this awakening, even though I sobered up, at the time I was still struggling mentally. They had really secluded me. God had, and that was for my own benefit. But I was still struggling mentally with things from my childhood, going through it, just going through it when they showed up. And like I said, I never felt that unconditional love before. So when I felt like they just abandoned me.
Hmm.
They came into my life and gave me all this love and then now they're gone. That's how I felt. Like they just dropped me here on this planet, you
Yeah.
know, uh, um, and left.
Mhm.
And I started all these feelings and memories were coming like, this hole in my heart that I had since I could remember, that was them.
Mhm.
That was them. And it just really hurt me a lot. And like I said, I went through a grieving process, a few weeks that lasted for a good few weeks. And the confusion, a grieving process of where are you now? Like, things of that nature. And then it continued these sightings or yeah, I would have a few sightings, not as massive, but a few things in the sky. And then the dreams started.
Gotcha.
And one dream in particular, And I have said this many times and have shared my story many times. And it's a use your own discernment whether you believe me or not. I honestly don't care. But um, not talking to you, talking to the
Yeah.
viewers.
Everyone has their own
Yes,
truth, and yeah,
absolutely, because
yeah.
this is very hard to understand. But I was on a craft in my first dream I had, um, or first recollection of a dream of being on the craft. And I was in this room and all I could see was just pure white, like the LED,
Mm,
light. There's no light source. There's not like a lamp in the corner. It's just a light source. And I know my body, it's not my body, it's like my consciousness, but I'm in the shape of my body. It's very strange, but there's no one around me and I'm completely freaking out because I know my consciousness knows I am on this craft.
mm,
And then a lady, I see her coming through the doorway, and I have not name dropped her name since, I mean, in the beginning, I've been talking about this ever since I could. Um, but this will be the second time I name drop her just because she has been on my show and I already told her
mm.
what happened. But there was Geraldine Orozco was helping me. So she puts her arms around me and she's telling me, like, her body's physical. It looks physical to me. She's just, and I know her height and everything. And how do I know that? But I knew her height and everything. And she's about the same height as I am. Yeah, she just calmed me down and she kept telling me, remember, you have been here before. You have been here before. And I was just like, I just woke up, you know? I just woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, that was crazy, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
And so I actually have told Geraldine about this. I had the opportunity to have her on my show, like I said, and I have told her about this. And she said that other people have told her this. So she thinks is some kind of teacher in the astral. But anyway, continuing on. Um, those kinds of dreams, and then I had a gray ET in my room that paralyzed me, and then also, um, I would wake up in between wake and stage 1 where, I had the knowing of these Pleiadian reptilians that were teaching me about humanity. It was like a Q&A. I was in this room and it was very dark, though. I wasn't able to see them, but I had the knowing that they were Pleiadian,
Hmm,
reptilians. So,
interesting.
yeah, which is people don't normally hear about reptilians that are Pleiadian, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, usually the
yeah,
people have it
that's the
as 2
thing.
separate things. Huh.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the thing, and they were positive. So they were positive beings, positive reptilians, but they were very serious. There was like no, and the Pleiadians are very kind and loving and joking. The blue ones, but these reptilians were very serious and they wanted the best for humanity, But they didn't. They weren't joking or anything. But
Kinda like
yeah,
they're, like,
those
doing a
kinds.
job kinda, do you think? Like, it's
Like
their kinda,
what?
like, mission? Like, it's their
Yes, it
job,
was
basically?
very mission. Yes, that is the perfect way to say that. Like very, um, serious,
Yeah.
like very to the point. This is what and I wasn't allowed to remember any of that conversation. I kept telling myself I would wake up and I would hear the voice. One time it was a female, one was a male, that was speaking to me. But they would also speak to me in together. But I wasn't allowed to hear any of the information. All I know when I woke up in the morning after these things happened in the middle of the night, I woke up in the morning, couldn't remember what the conversations were about. All I knew is they were teaching me about humanity, and it was some kind of Q&A. Like I was asking them questions and they were giving me the answers.
Hmm.
And I knew like that they were reptilian, and that one was very hard for me to tell people that as well, just because of the stigma that was around reptilians.
Yeah,
So
there
I
is a
didn't
lot. Yeah.
fully say that for a while, that these were reptilians. I would say beings. um, but anyway, yeah, I started having all these amazing experiences. So I became very reliant on these experiences and for their comfort. Um, and all of a sudden, all of it stopped.
Mm.
One day, it just all stopped, and I was like, "What? Where are you?" I mean, everything stopped. The sightings, the dreams, the knowings that they were with me, like just everything stopped.
Hmm.
And I, I was like, "Why is this happening?" Um, I really felt angry in the beginning. Like, how could you do this to me again? You left me again, you know? And then that shifted because I started to get the knowing that they really wanted me to ground myself to the planet, to start helping myself, to reach out to others, to start really embracing my gifts, and really being grounded to this earth so I can heal, help heal people and help heal myself because I was so reliant on them. Y-
Yeah.
Anyway, I started to become like, okay, well, if you don't come back, that's all right. I had a wonderful experience with you guys, and it was very appreciative. I was very appreciative of the experiences, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it because I knew when I was doing the readings that this wasn't it. This, I mean, it just wasn't. There was so much more. I just didn't know what it was, and
Hmm.
it was this. It was this subject, that I'm
Gotcha.
supposed to
Yeah.
be talking about now. But yeah, eventually they came back when I was on assignment in 2023 in Minnesota. And I know they picked this particular place in this particular time in my life because I was like, hey, fine, you don't want to come back? That's okay. I was okay
Yeah.
with it. And I was on this amazing healing journey. I was meditating every day. I was really just grounding my energy. I still do daily spiritual practices every single day. Um, and I was helping others and I was just really getting out there. I came out of the closet about my gifts, not them yet, but I came out of the closet, about my spiritual gifts and things of that nature. And I was really happy with life,
Yeah.
attracting things, manifesting things all over the place, money, relationship, just not love relationships, but good
Right.
friendships,
Friendship. Yeah. Gotcha.
yeah. And I was just very, very happy with everything. And so I get this assignment, and we call them assignments in the travel community. That's what they just call work assignments. So I get this assignment in 2023 to go to Minnesota in this little town up north. It's called Bemidji, and it's surrounded by three um, reservations, Native American reservations.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I'm in the middle of practically nowhere. I'm outside of the city, where I live, and there's nothing. You go outside and I'm telling you, it's like being in a planetarium. I mean,
Nice.
the
Yeah.
constellations, the stars are right in your face. It's completely dark,
Yeah.
you know? So anyway, I'm they sent there. I'm all by myself, no dog, no children, and they were teenage years at the time. So they were able to really take care of themselves, and they were homeschooled. So I'm all by myself. And one night, I'm a third shifter. So it was my day off, my night off. And I'm just sitting there. And of course, I'm still wondering where they are, where they are. I'm still watching shows or podcasts about extraterrestrials, really learning more and
Mhm.
more. And um, I had closed my iPad. It had a case on it. I closed it, and I always kept the window blinds open, wide open. So because um, this particular little apartment, out the window you could just see sky,
Nice.
just
Yep.
sky, maybe a tree, but a lot of sky. So it made me feel closer to them. So I'd always have it open just in case,
Right.
you know?
Yep.
So this is one of those just in case moments where I closed the iPad and I was just listening to an experiencer, mind you.
Hmm.
And I close it, and all of a sudden I see a flash that ricocheted off the apartment. These are little tiny apartments, by the way. They're like little houses, but
Okay.
in like a little cluster. But I see it ricochet because this is like as I'm closing my eyes, and I'm like, wait a minute, what was that? And I hop up, and I'm like, it was just, I just had this knowing that it was them. I hop up, and I'm like, if that was you, please do that again. Please do that again. Um, they didn't do it again, but about 10 minutes went by and I saw this, or maybe 5 even, and I saw this wispy, like tail-like thing. It had a tail, it was wispy, and it just went up, glided across the sky. And I'm like, they're back. They're
Nice.
back.
Yeah.
I was, but I wasn't for sure. I wasn't all the way for sure because I had waited another 10, 15 minutes. Nothing happened. So I went to sleep. So I work the next 3 nights, and I'm off, the following nights after those 3. Same thing happens. Shut my iPad, um, you know, about to close my eyes, and then I see a huge flash, like
Hmm.
someone is taking a picture of me. We all know those flashes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Big
But
old
this
bright
was,
flash. Yeah.
yeah, this was humongous.
Hmm.
So I knew right away, said that is them because they had in between that year and a half where they were gone, they did stop me in my tracks from something that was dangerous. I didn't know it was them, but
Hmm.
it was a huge bright flash, and they only did it once, and then I got a telepathic message to not go by that cemetery. But anyway,
Hmm.
that's digressing. Because there's many of those little things, many
Yeah.
of those little stories. But um yeah, so I popped up and I said, if that was you, do it again. And they did it again. And I said, do it again. I was so
Yeah.
excited. No camera, of course. And they did it again. And this time they allowed me to see the craft behind it. And
Hmm.
it was a bronze colored craft. It wasn't it was metallic bronze, like shiny, bronzy color, like a penny almost.
Hmm. And what
Like a
shape was it?
copper. It was a craft, yeah. It was,
Like a
well, it was
oval kind of, or
mhm,
gotcha.
not
Okay.
flat though. It had like dimensions to it. Like it had
Okay.
some kind of, you know, stuff to it. Um I'd probably be able to draw it, but yeah, it wasn't just an oval, even though it had the main shape, but it had like a tier on top
Gotcha.
of it. But yeah, it was metallic, bronzy, and I was like so excited. Needless to say, they kept coming and kept coming, and I had several experiences when I was by myself with them, and every time I would try to even reach for the camera, they would say, "Nope, not yet. Just embrace this," because they really made me feel like I was so special. Like I was the only one in the world that was able to see them. I mean, every time I looked up, they would even follow me in the car.
Hmm.
Anytime I looked up, they would be there. A flash, another flash, a streak. Like
Yeah.
it was absolutely crazy. So I started to go out every night I could. Every night I could. It was -30, sometimes -20. I did not care.
No.
I
I've been
was
there. Yep.
I was
But
out
yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and because I had hand warmers and everything, I was just so excited they were back with me, and they started to telepathically communicate with me and also send me, owls. And one other time, I actually saw a physical being in the woods. Yeah, so right by, the apartment, I had bought or purchased a, cheap pair of night vision goggles from Amazon. I'm not sure if they had the recording feature or whatever. I don't think so because I wasn't allowed to record, but they could have. I just maybe they did. I didn't use it though, the recording feature, but it was just to look to see if I could, see them better. And, so this particular night, I was feeling them so close to me, and I I mean, I was even getting the goosebumps, and it's just like this energy I cannot describe when they're close.
Hmm.
Um, in a lot of my big sightings, they'll tell me beforehand in this particular way. They'll be really close to me, so I know I'm gonna see something big. So I knew I was gonna see something, I just didn't know what. So I'm out there, I can feel them so close to me, and I'm like, "Where are you? Where are you?" I'm just, "Are you gonna show me, like, this huge, humongous craft?" Because that's what it felt like.
Hmm. Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
like I was gonna see something so magical,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, I hear this, stomping, like, in the woods. There's just this little patch of trees. It is not like a huge woods that goes far or anything like that. It is just a tiny patch of trees. So I start hearing this, and I this fear takes over my body,
Hmm.
and I know I'm not fearful. I know I want this to happen, but something, I mean, it just got me so fearful. And, just the sensation, it was scary. So it keeps coming closer, and I can tell the difference between some deer or animals. It was not rustling, these were actual footsteps,
Hmm.
and it sounded not just like one, it sounded like a few,
Hmm.
and,
Yeah.
which I didn't see a few, I just saw one coming out of the woods, but, um, I had my night vision, and I heard it stop. So I turned my night vision, and it's black and gray, the
Right.
night vision.
Yeah.
And, I turn it, and there's a figure, a tall, small head, though, not the it's, I would be able to draw it, but, a tall, long arm, long legs, gray ET, but a smaller head.
Hmm. Okay.
And I freak out, of
Yeah.
course.
Yep.
I freak out. I run into the house because I had asked for this.
Hmm.
I had asked for it, the for them to come down so I can see them, and to be next to me. But when it happened, I completely freaked out.
Yeah.
I run inside the apartment, and I sit on the couch, and I'm just trying to really gather myself to go back out there. And I tell them, "Guys, I'm not ready. I'm not ready." So I peer out the window. Okay, I don't really see much because you can't. I just don't know why, but only the night vision could pick him up. And go out again. I put the night vision up again. There he is, still there. And I said, I can't do this. And I run back inside and I don't go out for the rest of the night. But I apologize. to them. And I said, I'm so sorry. Now I feel like I would be okay. But the fear was so intense. And later they told me it was because of the frequency, that the fear, because I knew it wasn't my fear. Like it was coming from something else, and I couldn't
Yeah.
stop it. And it was just my body reacting to the being's frequency, this particular being anyway. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if they all have that, but it was this particular being that made me just completely freak out. Um,
Yeah, I've definitely heard that from other people too. It's that, like, I
really?
mean, I've experienced that fear as well too. Like when I saw the triangle craft, like I felt that same
Did
fear.
you?
It's just like I think it's that built-in like survival instinct we have in
Yes,
our
fight or
body.
flight.
Yeah, so
Yes,
it's like you can't shut it off, and no matter how prepared you think you are, like me and my friend would joke all the time. We'd go out and lay on the trampoline to Skywatch, and we're like, "Oh, we want to see a craft," and then we're like, "Well, what if one just like came right above us on the trampoline and then flew away?" And like, okay, maybe we're not ready for that kind of like experience, even though like you
absolutely.
want it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's completely like
When it
reality
comes,
shattering. It's
yeah,
yeah,
when it comes, it's like it was so intense that just everything felt like it was coming at me at once. And it was so intense. It really terrified me in a but a good way. I
yeah,
just couldn't bring myself to go back out after the second time though. I just apologized and to them, and they understood, they understood that that was hard. I have not seen a being since, even in my dreams though. Um, because I've had that where, they've, uh, oh, no, actually, sorry, excuse me. I did have one other occurrence with an Octurian being.
hmm,
He was all blue, wore as a space suit, and that was in South Dakota. So, sorry, my timeline is kind of
but yeah, no.
all over
For
the
me, it's
place.
just pre-COVID and post-COVID, and anything in
Yes.
between. I don't know. Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah. Um, I eventually they told me I wasn't going to see things as much when I moved to Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
gotcha.
But I did have that interaction, and I saw a physical egg-shaped craft while I was there. But that's pretty much about it. And the end of that contract or assignment, I was really like, "What do you want me to do here?" I was asking them, like, What do you want me to do?" And let me back up because I'm getting ahead of myself from Minnesota. Let's go into, if you don't mind,
Yeah, no, you're good.
um, when so there was a lot of telepathic messages, a lot of dreams, a lot of interactions with them when I was by myself in Minnesota. And one of those dreams in particular was me being on a craft and then presenting me with a shield, and asking me if I would be an ambassador of the Galactic Federation. And that was in 2023 when I was in Minnesota.
Gotcha.
So I was presented with this shield, and on the shield, it's very cliche, and it just said the Galactic Federation and stuff I could not read or make out,
Hmm.
like hieroglyphs and stuff at the bottom. But
Interesting.
they
Okay.
gave me the knowing, the 100% knowing that this is what we're asking of you, and if you decide, they gave me an option. If you decide that this is something you want to do, then we will protect you and we will keep you safe as long as you get this information out there, and things of that nature. They didn't ask me to film yet. That came later in 2024. So yeah, that's basically that story. And then they
Mhm.
gave me footage right off the back. So we're basically, I'm contracted to get great footage like this, and then for them to come in abundance.
Yeah. Yeah, your footage is insane. Like your orb parades that you get are
Oh
so
my gosh,
amazing. There's so many
thank
of
you.
them. Yeah.
There it
Um,
is.
yeah,
There's always, I mean, it's just an abundance, an
yeah.
abundance. Wow, look at those. Absolutely beautiful. Incredible. Wow, look at all of them at the bottom and the top and on the left.
So it's interesting that you had that in 2023 because that's when I had the start of my awakening as well. It seems like a lot
Oh,
of people,
wow.
2023 was a very like pivotal year for the spiritual stuff
Yes.
too. And I wonder
Yeah.
why specifically that year? Is it just
I'm
like,
not sure.
yeah, is it just like we had the COVID experience in
It,
2020 and then it took
yes.
time and then finally that's like when it
What just
capitulated
popped
or
in my
something?
head, what just hit me and what they just said was 2020 was the initial, like, eye awakening, eye opening experience. And many of the people were really secluded. So
Yeah.
they started working on themselves.
That makes
And
sense too. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, that would make sense that, the years coming, they would be, we would be more receptive because of all the isolation. We were able to focus on our healing, a lot of us. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we were all forced like separate, so like it would make sense that a lot of people would go within and do the inner
Yes, that's
work.
exactly
Yeah.
what a lot of people did. A lot of people did the opposite too, as well, but and it was very hard for some people. But when you're able to sit alone or by yourself in stillness, you receive so much information. And when you're able to sit with your emotions,
Yeah.
that's healing.
Yes.
That's healing.
Yeah, which actually, like to bring it back to your story earlier, when you were talking about like you were at the darkest point of your time when you had that
Yes.
experience,
Hmm.
that's something that's
One of
very,
them. Yeah.
yeah, very similar to myself and a lot of other people. It seems to be you have to get
Yes.
to such a dark level. So when you're shown the light, like it sticks and you
It
realize, like,
sticks and
this
you're
is what I'm
grateful.
supposed, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I'm sure you probably have some similar, but like looking back like a decade ago, realizing all the struggles I went through, I needed to go through those to turn me into the person I am
Yes.
now. So
Oh
it's,
my gosh, yes.
yeah. So for so many people, like if you're struggling right now,
Mhm.
like try to find the positive and learn what am I learning through this experience?
Absolutely. Absolutely, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So you get invited to be a part of the Galactic Federation, and then
Yes.
you say you're contracted to get footage. So how did
Yes.
that go about? Like, how did that? Did they tell you in another kind of like dream, or how did you receive that
Yeah, that's a
communication?
great question because not
Yeah,
many people ask that. But yes, it was downloaded to me, in a knowing, through
gotcha.
a
Okay.
knowing. And a lot of people, they get confused about telepathic messages sometimes.
Hmm.
Yeah, it'll just be dropped right into me, like
Gotcha.
through a thought and feeling, and I receive information, through these chakras here. So, I mean, I use all of them, but it's mainly through the third eye, the throat, um, not I wouldn't even say the third eye really that I use a lot, but sometimes, but I'm more clairsentient, um so I received the messages really through my throat, my solar plexus, and my heart chakra.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
solar plexus, heart, and then throat. And that's very weird to say, but I feel things right there, like, and then it will become like an image.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, and I think a lot of clear, or a lot of people who have these abilities know what I'm talking about. It's
Mhm.
really hard to explain.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so who the Galactic Federation is, or what were you asking? Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could go into who they are, but also, like, how did you get the contract to be able to record all these things, and how did
Yeah.
you
So
yeah, all that.
yep,
Yeah.
it was just a knowing.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
So they sent that telepathic message to me, a download, and said, "Okay, time to start filming." So, I was like, "Okay, if this is what you are telling me," because you always wanna ask for signs. If you don't think something is clear enough, ask for a sign, but I knew it in my heart and soul, when they communicate with me, it's different.
Yeah,
It's not just
okay.
my own thought, they're really telling me,
Mhm.
through a knowing, through a thought, that, and that's what I was going to say. Sometimes people will think that it's them thinking it or something because they don't hear an audible voice. Although I have heard an audible voice, and but a lot of times telepathy will just be a knowing, a thought, a feeling that's not yours.
Gotcha,
So
okay.
that's exactly how I learned about filming, that they wanted me to film, and I said, if that's what I'm hearing, if that's what you're trying to tell me, then I want you to show me what camera to get. I want the money for it, you know, and all these things. And I'll tell you, they showed me Chris Bledsoe.
Mm,
Did not know who he was ever, and I don't even think I had any kind of social media at the time except for Our Guided Path, which was on Instagram, and that was a newer page where I came out with my gifts. I was doing readings and stuff. So, which I still have that account, but um, yeah. So, I maybe I saw it on there. I have no idea. Maybe it was YouTube even. I really don't know where. And just something inside of me said that's the camera. Like they
gotcha.
just told me, like, when I saw it, that's it.
Mhm.
And I had it in a week and a half, 2 weeks later.
That's so interesting because, like, I also found Chris Bledsoe, which if you haven't heard of Chris Bledsoe, go check him out because he's awesome, and to him, it's all connected to love and everything too, and the
Absolutely.
spiritual. But I joined the Discord and I made some friends in there, and actually someone purchased me the psionics as a gift and sent it to me with the yeah. So like that was proof enough for me from me. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Guys, so like so grateful to him. His name's Jack. But yeah, he bought me like $1,000 setup with the tripod and the
It
psionics
was
and everything.
crazy.
And as soon as I got the camera and I went out and started recording with it, that's when I got some of my craziest videos, like the one with the orb next to the plane, the one
Yep,
that
that was
like
a good one.
the one that shows up that spins downwards with the sound.
Mhm.
Both of those were recorded the same day and within a week of me getting that camera, which is crazy. So
Oh
it's
my
just like
gosh.
they're like, here's the
Yes.
camera, here you go. Like do the work now.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's way better than I had to pay for it, but they gave me the money, you
Hmm.
know? So that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't have had one if I didn't get it that way. Like, yeah. So
Yeah,
definitely
and
like,
then look at you now. I mean, you have a better setup and
mhm.
you're just doing all these things, and that's amazing. The growth that I've seen, because I've known you since TikTok, when I started on TikTok, and there you were too
Yeah, it's definitely
in
been quite
2024.
quite the growing process through all of this,
Mhm.
and I've learned a lot. And then, like you said, my newest camera, that was another just like very clear manifestation. I'm assuming
Beautiful.
from my guides, but I was looking at cameras, and then all of a sudden, my old work that I had quit 2 months before then was like, "Hey, we have a check for you. Like, we're gonna send this to you,"
That
and it
is
ended up
amazing.
being the exact amount I spent on my camera and everything, like down to within a couple cents of each other. Like,
Isn't
so
that crazy how they do that kind of
yeah, it's
stuff?
insane.
It
Yeah.
is, it really is, and they've done that to me with flat tires, just completely took down the system, they had to give me the tire for free. Like,
Wow. Yeah.
it is crazy the
Yeah.
things you can manifest
Hmm.
and the things that happen when you allow this interaction, you
Yeah.
know?
Definitely.
It's incredible. Yeah.
So I guess I would say, let's see, how did your mindset change throughout this entire process? Did you always
Oh my
believe in
goodness.
manifestation and all that stuff, or has that
No.
come
No,
recently?
no, no. No,
Gotcha.
I didn't. When I started this, okay, so the manifestation and everything came in after my awakening in 2014. I was
Mm,
rock bottom broke, did not care, even though. I
gotcha.
mean, I knew I was. I knew I was. I was getting myself filed for bankruptcy twice, but it was like I just didn't care.
Yeah.
And that is such a bad way. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But it was such a bad way. I just always knew something, it would be fine. Like, I just had this knowing, but, yeah, I was very bad with money. I remember, like, myself and my daughters, we couldn't even afford, toilet paper. I always would be able to ask my parents who were actually living down the road, and I actually had to move in with them for a year and a half, because I lost everything when I awakened. Yeah, as I was starting to manifest, more so in 2017 is when it all really came into fruition, where I was starting to see, and that was through gratitude.
Yes.
Getting up and saying thank you every day, getting up and starting to pray. And I really don't say this much, but I always had connection with Jesus, Yeshua, whatever you want to say, it's fine with him. Ben Joseph, I mean, whatever you want to say. I had a connection with him as a child, and I really started up that connection again with Christ consciousness and really feeling the love in my heart, even though I was still drinking, still doing trying to drink. I would say trying to,
Yeah.
not fully healed.
Mm,
You don't have to be fully healed, to make a difference. You'll
definitely.
get there. You'll
Yeah.
get there. But yeah, I was yeah, doing all these things, but I forgot your question.
uh, how you evolved your mindset into getting into manifestation and everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much it
Yeah.
started, with my spiritual awakening and then just absolutely continued and it just keeps going and going. And I do spiritual practices every day. I align myself with my diet as well. And I think that some may not think diet has a lot to do with it, but my guides had shown me, lots of things to rid myself of the toxins in processed foods and sugars and you know the meats have so much chemicals in it and things of that nature, and it really dumbs you down. That's it. Maybe that's not the right word to say. It really clouds your aura.
Yeah. It's not made for our system, honestly.
No,
Like,
absolutely
like,
not.
yeah.
Absolutely not. It's so hard to digest. So what happens is it gets stuck in there, and all those toxins go out through. I mean, through your. It just causes illness and it's harder for you to channel messages and so in order for me to manifest better and get better telepathic communications, um, I had to get rid of a lot of things, and meats, dairies, were one of them.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
meats, dairies,
Yeah.
soys, gluten. I don't eat any of it.
Yeah. I got rid of alcohol,
Yeah.
soda, caffeine,
Yes. Ooh, I
and
wish
like a bunch of junk
yeah.
food all at the same
Yes.
time about a little over 2 years ago. So yeah, I
That's
definitely noticed a
amazing.
difference as well. Yeah.
I think they allow me to have the caffeine though,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
I don't know why I just decided I need to do
not a
it. Like,
lot.
yeah, like I don't have a
That's
problem with
good.
like if people drink like coffee or whatever, like it's from a natural bean or whatever and stuff like
Yes.
that. I just for some reason in my for myself, I decided I didn't want to go with caffeine, and now I'm
No,
a
I
couple
keep
years
saying
later,
it.
and yeah, and now if I have it, it's crazy. It makes me feel like I'm having a panic attack. Like I
Oh,
realize,
I
like
bet.
I
I
was
bet.
never. I don't think I was ever really getting energy. I was just kind of like freaking myself out with it
Yes,
before. So
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, and,
yeah,
I pray about them taking the caffeine away, and I think they're like, "You don't even drink that much,"
yeah,
so, I think it's okay to have a little bit of caffeine. I probably drink 1 cup and a
yeah,
half, 1.5 cups.
yeah.
If I go over that, I am like it makes me have, like, low blood pressure and
Mm.
everything, so really, I probably should get rid of it, but that's the only really vice that I have. Everything else I'm pure is, like, you know, close to being raw as possible. Not
I mean, I've definitely
not
slipped back
completely
into
raw.
some of the junk food, but like definitely still don't drink soda and all that stuff. But I also
Well,
have,
hey, that's good. That's a
yeah,
lot of progress.
I have it's called Raynaud's. Like I have like a minor version of it, but my fingers and feet are extremely cold, and when I have
Oh,
caffeine, it all makes them colder. So that was also like
no.
yeah, like another part of it. So like my wife calls me a robber all the time because I'll wear fingerless gloves to keep my hands warm, even if it's like 60 degrees
You
or
could have
whatever.
wore
But
'em right now.
yeah, but yeah, so I think a lot of people like could really improve their health just by changing their diet for sure.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yes. Yes, and people talk about having IBS
yeah,
and their bowels being messed up and everything. I'm like, it's what I tell my dad this all the time. And he just some people are just so stuck in their ways, and I'm like, "Dad, you literally have to change your diet. You cannot eat like you
yeah,
did
yeah,
20 years ago, and still be okay. You have to, like, incorporate fruits and vegetables, organic if you can, and less processed." So I make everything on my own. The only processed
awesome.
thing I
Yeah,
get is date, like, their date sugar. You know what date sugar is? Just ground up dates.
yeah,
It's the chocolate chips
nice.
that are made
Yeah,
of date sugar, not like coconut sugar or any refined sugar. So I don't have any refined sugar.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
And I mean, I definitely feel like that helps open up to being able to experience these things too. So, like, for anyone
absolutely.
who may want to connect with the phenomenon or whatever, like, that's a good thing that you can work on is
Raise your
like
vibration.
raising your vibration through different ways, through your diet, through meditation, and
Yes.
really like what you've said before, but gratitude is like number
Mhm.
one. Once you accept gratitude and you start being grateful every single day you're alive, and like every morning I'll drive to school and I'll just go through everything I'm grateful for. And that's when I've noticed like
Yes.
my manifestations have been like in overdrive. Everything's just been working out how it needs to. Versus before when I drive to work, I was like, I don't want to go to work. This is going to be another just
Yes.
day stuck in this warehouse.
Yep.
And I think people don't realize that when you're in that kind of like beliefs and mindset and talking about your day and your experiences that way, you're just getting stuck in that. Like you're not,
You just get stuck and it's
yeah,
so hard to get out of, but you can do it.
yeah,
You can do
for
it,
sure.
and when you do it, get ready for miracles and blessings
Yes.
because God is gonna show you, or our creator will show you exactly I mean, exactly what you're meant to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Um, I guess
Let's
we'll
you
do
want
maybe one more thing. I would like to ask, what's your favorite video of the phenomenon that you've recorded?
Oh my gosh, you know what? That has changed. It
Mm,
was the triangle formations, but now it's actually the abundance of orbs. There was so many. Um, it was unbelievable. And then when you speed it up, it's like there's ones I just didn't even see with my naked eye,
yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And that video got a lot of views. So that one has to be my favorite, and those ones are becoming more of my favorites when they're
Yeah.
there in abundance.
It's just, like, hard to deny when you see that, like, there's just so many
People
of
do,
'em.
though.
I know they do, yeah. But yeah, just, like, feeling like, I can feel it when I watch your videos too, like, just the amount of love that's pouring out into the
Oh,
sky for you to
yes.
experience, like, it's
Yes,
crazy
yes.
how many you
And
see in that
it's
one that
intense. It's
yeah,
intense sometimes. The very first time they showed me that, I knew they sent me a message telepathically, like, "You're gonna see something big tonight."
yeah.
And I felt it all day, even told a friend, I said, "Oh my gosh." I told him, I was like, "They're telling me I'm gonna see something big. I wonder what it is," and it was them coming in abundance
Mm.
over the tree line. The first
So,
time I ever saw them over the tree line.
when was the first time that you
It
experienced
was
that?
last year, and I was just looking at this,
Yeah,
in January. So, I don't know
okay.
about the date, but it was 2024 where, I woke up in the morning and they were so close to me, and I was like, "What?"
Mhm.
"What why are you so close to me?" Um, yeah, it was 2024, and like I said, I woke up, I'm easily distracted, as you can tell,
You're
but,
good.
I had woken up that morning
Mhm.
and, yeah, it was just so intense, the feeling of them being right next to me, and I was tapping in, and it's like, closed my eyes, kind of stilled myself, and I heard, when I say hear, it's not always audible. It's a message that comes through my body, and that's telepathic interaction, but communication. But yeah, they're like, you're gonna see something big. We're gonna show you something amazing, big tonight. And yeah, I went out, and that's when I saw that, but I also experienced something, not so good. But we'll
Mm,
save that maybe for, another time or
okay.
something. But I would like to, if I could, because they are pushing me to talk about who the Galactic
Oh,
Federation
yeah, for sure,
is.
definitely.
So they so sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. So the Galactic Federation is made up of a large group of extraterrestrials, light beings, several different species, and humans. They who have been working with us for a millennium to make sure we don't destroy ourselves in the planet. So they have been working with us for so long, and really they're coming together at this time for the best interest of this planet, and so we can see and observe, or they see and observe what's taking place as being one of the most significant times in this planet's history of this awakening process. It's really fabulous. I mean, they see the good coming for us. It's going to be a rough ride, no doubt, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. I will say that in the next coming years. But there's a lot of exciting things that they have showed me. A
Awesome.
lot. I mean, even having hybrids
Mm,
coming, here in about 27, 28. We'll be maybe introduced to maybe some hybrid beings. Not them, though. They are not gonna be landing here for a while but we're going to be that's what we're doing right now as well. We're not hybrids. Well, I think I am in a way, but,
I
um,
might be, I don't know, who
you
knows?
could be. You could
Yeah.
be. I'm definitely a star seed. You are too.
Yep,
But,
I did look that up, and yep,
oh,
I definitely
good.
fit that definition, so
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Um, but basically, they're here to assist us in our awareness and awakening processes at this time through our heart center. So that is something they relayed to me very strongly. And you'll hear everybody say, what do we say? It opened up our heart,
yeah,
right? These
definitely.
interactions have changed our mindset, have changed our hearts. So they're expanding our hearts so we can lead with kindness, love, and compassion. And when you start interacting with them, and in believing in them, your reality shifts and changes. everything that you were taught to believe and everything you thought you believed in, you find out is not true,
Yep.
right? And it starts
That's
you to
definitely, yep.
question things. It
Yep.
makes you start to question reality.
Mhm.
And that's what they want you to do. Question reality, open your heart to kindness, love, and compassion, and know that they're here helping. You know, they're
Do you
here
think
helping.
do you think they're also directing, like reality shifting? Like, a lot
Yes.
of people don't believe in the psychic stuff, like the mind sight and everything, that I'm talking to people who
You
have these
know,
abilities and can
yeah,
demonstrate it.
it's very real.
Actually, people are more accepting of the UFO stuff now than the psychic stuff, but
It's like if you believe that, you should definitely believe in
yeah.
in psychic or intuitive gifts.
But all of them are talking about too, like their abilities really open up when it's all heart centered. Like they go into their heart
Yes.
to get these abilities. So do you think the Galactic Federation is also like helping push the psychic movement and like the
Sure.
telepathy tapes and like it
Yes.
seems like all the different things that
It's
we do to
absolutely yeah.
connect with the phenomenon is also going mainstream in like different avenues.
Yes.
But yeah,
It's that's just the awakening happening. It's our awareness expanding, and they are sending us frequencies right now. You
mhm.
know, they are here right now. I actually feel them as
No.
I have goosebumps in my wrists and stuff.
Yeah.
And my hands are cold, Justin. But
Sorry. Yeah,
yeah,
my hands
no.
are always freezing. Yeah.
But they are actually even here right now, listening to this conversation. And yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. It all goes hand in hand. It's all the awakening process. It's all to open our minds, for what's coming, and that is the introduction of extraterrestrials on this planet. It's
Yeah.
coming, whether we like it or not, whether the GOV likes it or not. And they're actually going to be forced to introduce them. We're talking
Yeah.
in a few, and I would say about 8 years or so. But all of that is coming.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely seems like we're on the verge of like a breakthrough in understanding consciousness as a whole. And I think
Yes.
once we understand, maybe the awakening will push us to that understanding, or I don't know if we'll get the understanding and then the awakening will just really open
I
up
think it
after
just
that.
will
But
all happen together.
yeah. But yeah, it's just so fascinating that like so many different people also talk about that, like contact is going on. Like I've hear from, like, you had experience in the dream state. I know other people who've had experiences in the dream state. I know people who've been contacted during meditations and stuff like
Oh,
that. So
yes. Oh, yeah. All of
yeah,
it.
it's just
So
yeah,
this year is going to be a huge year for that. So in 2026, the sightings, personal experiences, whether they be in dream state, telepathic messages, or very up close and personal, all of those are going to start to accelerate at a very fast speed. You're going to see many, many people coming out with stories like you already do,
yeah,
but more. And that is this movement that we're going through. You know, it's just to get us all prepared, and that's what we're doing as skywatchers, and bringing forth this information is really opening that door. We are, believe it or not, we are playing a big part. All of you skywatchers out there, we are playing such a humongous part in this mass awakening. It's so exciting. It really is. So yeah, this year is about really sharing your experiences. Get out there, share your experience. But however, there's going to be chaos, more chaos as the system, really continues to break down and the truths are revealed. So be on alert for that as well.
Yeah, I could definitely see that because you have the people who are so open to these things happening, and then you have the people who are so close-minded that it's going to be, I don't know if it'll be like so big of a struggle for us believers. I wonder if it's
Mhm.
going to be more of a struggle for the people whose
Yes.
worldview is going to get shattered.
That's that's what yes, you're
Yeah,
right. It won't be a major struggle for us because we're already here. We're already practicing
yeah,
manifestation. We're already practicing all these amazing things. So it's going to be like in the meditation, it makes us more calm and peaceful, and we're at harmony with ourselves. And we're here to assist the ones that are freaking out, basically.
definitely. Yeah, it definitely feels like
And
that. Like,
yes, it does. Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
don't know why else I'd be making these videos if it's not to help someone down the road be able to
It
hopefully
is.
process and go through like the awakening experience. But yeah.
You're gonna have your time, Justin.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there any final messages that you'd like to leave for anyone?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave this message for anyone who is struggling, through this time. You are needed. You are so needed. You are needed to rise up. You are needed to step up, step into your power, step into that strength, step into that light that you are. This is such a time to be of service to not just yourself, but to our creator and to other people with kindness, with love, with compassion, and do what you can for this time in humanity's history. So you're needed. Don't think that you don't have a purpose. You are needed. And that's about it. Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful message, and I definitely agree. We're all playing our own role here, and
Yes.
you're all a piece of the big puzzle that we need every piece to complete it. So, yeah, definitely.
So
So,
turn your fear into fuel, people. This is the
yes.
year. And guess what? This today is the fire horse. What starts the year of the fire horse today,
Hmm.
February 17th, the eclipse.
Wow. I
We're
didn't even
doing
know.
this podcast
Yeah.
right now. So that
Perfect.
means, guys, go out there and turn that fear into fuel and get out there and do things you love
Yes.
and things you never thought you could do. Go out there and do it.
Yep. You
Good
got
things. So
this. You
you
got it.
got this. Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. This was an
You're
awesome
welcome.
conversation, and I can't wait to share with everyone.
Yay.
Yeah. That's going to be it for this episode. I will catch you all later.
Hey, bye-bye.
Hey, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And I just want to come on and do a quick announcement. So, I think moving forwards, I'm going to be uploading episodes for Beyond the Lights every other week. It's kind of become a lot for me to try to schedule and do interviews and also keep up with my schoolwork and everything. And a week is not a lot of time to get all of that stuff done. So, we're going to go to bi weekly episode releases. That way, I can have more time to get guests and be able to record and talk with them and be able to share their experiences with all of you. So I hope no one's too disappointed in that. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next episode. I hope you all have an amazing day filled with love and light.